Welcome back, everyone. So today we have the tale of two Tandys. We have a 2500 XL2, which I've already made a video on. And then we've got this parts unit. This is a 2500 SX33. I only bought this machine for the floppy drive. That's it. That's all I really wanted. Because the floppy drive in this one doesn't work at all. So, what's interesting to me, and I just figured this out now, is that it looks like the same floppy drive, kinda. One with a built-in faceplate and one without. So the faceplate is integral to the cover on this one. On this one, it's not. What the hell? All right. Let's get this guy apart and see what we're dealing with. So the SX33 is a 386 running at 33 megahertz, which I think is the fastest. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's what the 33 means. I could be wrong. I probably am, and I'm sure I will be corrected in a timely manner. But that aside, I have no intentions of restoring this, so yeah. What I really need is a floppy drive. So my 2500 XL2 is a 286 machine. It is a one owner. I got it from its original owner. And I have keyboard and monitor. Not that I couldn't repurpose them, but they have seemingly identical cases, fairly identical cases. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the floppy drive out of each one, and I'm going to do a quick little restoration on. Before I even try this floppy drive, I'm not going to take its well, I'm not even going to try using it until I recap it, because it's just not worth the risk, in my humble opinion. If I could get this cover off, that'd be great. Now, we're getting there. So clearly, this one is in pretty good shape, relatively. This one, not so much. It's been around the block. So I drove 4 hours to get this, because I didn't want to pay to ship it. There we go. 4 long, grueling hours behind the wheel. So this cover, are they the same? They are not the same. So on the SX33, these are just open bays. And on the XL2 286, they used, they actually molded the floppy drive faceplate into, yeah. Okay. So let's open her up. So this one doesn't have a key lock. The SX33 does. I'd like to get a key made for it, and I wonder if I could bring it. There's still like one lock switch in my area. I might be able to make a key. That could be fun. So what do we got? Oh, there she is. I'll open them up side by side and we can do a little comparison. Let's see what they look like. I think it'd be kind of neat to convert the SX33 to a 386 if we can do so. I'm probably not going to do that. But there's our 286 board. There's our 386 board. There's our little 386. It is a 33 megahertz chip. So those old chips had the clock speed stamped right on them. BIOS date of 11/23/92. Whereas this one should be like 89 or 89 maybe, if it even has The date stamp on it? I don't know. This one shipped with a factory CD-ROM drive, and that is kind of why we want to preserve this. I really want to see that live again. Here's our floppy drive, and oh yeah, what did I want to see? Does this thing even have a hard drive? Still. Because I don't see one. Nope, no hard drive. So this one had a hard drive delete at some point in its life. Probably would have been right here. And somebody took it upon themselves to decide to not, it doesn't need a hard drive. I have seen that some of these have hard drives mounted down here. What is that interface card at the bottom? We got a modem there. We got this card on the very bottom. What is that? It's got a... Oh, that's just the motherboard. Okay. All right. No hard drive. Where's the cable for it? Ah, you can see where it was mounted here at one time. And they took it. Somebody took it out before they scrapped it. All right. Let's get our floppy drive out. Maybe one of these days we'll see if this thing even posts. And, oh shit. That's not going to work for us. That floppy drive is incorrect. It has a separate power cable, and the one that we need working does not. And I don't believe you can just fit any floppy drive to these. Maybe we can. Yeah, that's going to be a deal kill. So I spent all that money on this thing for nothing. Well, that's a kick in the ass. Wonder the Sony drive too. Let's take a look at it. Let's pull it out. Wrong screwdriver size. Well, that was my damn it. That was my ace in a hole right there. That was going to be it. I was going to be able to get this fucking thing working for once. We may have a problem. I'm going to have to look up what... Now, before you say it, I'm not interested in retro floppies or floppy emulators or whatever those things are called. Not really what I want for this project. I want a working floppy drive, like an original one. So I apologize in advance if that's what you're going to suggest. Oh, just get a retro floppy or a floppy. No, not happening. So it's got a Sony drive. The original one was, what did I say it was? Well, it wasn't one of these. So that's going to be a problem. I'm going to have a hard time finding a functioning floppy drive for this guy. Absolutely. One of the biggest problems I have is I cannot... Yeah, this is not the right one. That sucks. So I'm shit out of luck. I might just have to... I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So I have to run an executable. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? There's got to be a way to modify the cabling to accept a normal floppy drive. I'm sure I can. I'm sure it can be done. It's just going to be a little extra work. A little more work here. So right here I have what looks like an adapter. Yeah. So that version actually has the small 4-pin adapter. Okay. Let's go ahead. You know what? Let's just try it. Let's just see if we can't get it working. And go from there. Yeah. So what did I have to do? Pull the CD-ROM drive out? You guys can't see a damn thing, can you? Sorry about that. So what I'm going to have to do here, given the situation, we have two completely different systems. The 386 uses a standard floppy drive, whereas the 286 uses a bus-powered floppy. And I don't know if I can just connect a normal floppy drive to this guy without blowing up the world. So that's going to be a bit of a conundrum there. Tandy and Radio Shack really like to do things against the grain on these machines. So you're kind of like, you gotta, it's not a standard PC in many ways. So let's get this ROM drive out of the way. I mean, this looks like a standard, it's a bus-powered floppy drive. If I could just find a way to just throw in a standard 1.44 meg, at least to get the thing running, you know. That would be nice. So this original floppy drive is made by TIAC. The new one is a Sony. Yeah, Sony. And I'm in a real bind here. Because to make it properly functioning as it should be, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. But here's our floppy cable. It is it provides power to the drive, which might not be kosher for this project. So in my head, I'm going over a bunch of different possibilities and issues, and I'm not explaining it very clearly on camera. So we have a few different things to overcome. Number one, this floppy drive has to fit exactly as the original, if I can get it working. And it has to be able to use the window that's molded into the case. But I do not want to modify the case. I do not want to do a floppy emulator. That is not what I want to do here. I actually have one, but that's irrelevant because it's not going in this machine. So this drive needs to be cleaned up a little bit. I'll throw a cleaning disc in there and I'll spin it by hand. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can retrofit it into this case. It looks like, if I compare these side by side, the button here is in the right spot. It's a little bigger, actually. It's a little bigger. If I line the mounting holes up exactly the same way, it's going to protrude a little bit more. It's also, yeah, a little bit, as though it does fit in the opening. Okay, that's good. The LED is in the right spot, but it doesn't stick out either. It's going to be an awkward fit, but I think if I can make it work electrically, I think I'll be okay. So let's play. So I've done some homework, and my suspicions are correct. You cannot just plug in a standard. I wasn't really going to do that. But I got another idea. It's a little sacrilegious, but I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking, right? Why not? I've got a 386 board here that would fit right into this case. Maybe not. No, the case is different. Yeah, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Is it? Is it though? Let's look underneath. I just want to point out that I am aware that there is an adapter that is made and has been ordered to allow me to install a standard 1.44 meg floppy drive into a Tandy with a with bus power. So don't worry. Don't worry. I know you're all freaking out. You got your keyboard smoking with all the typing you're doing. At no point did I or have I intended to connect that bespoke, that Tandy floppy drive with the separate power connector into the bus powered bus of the 2500 XL2. It never happened. It will not happen. I did actually order the adapter, but as I'm explaining in this video, I'm actually thinking about doing something a little bit different here. What I'm thinking about doing instead is putting the effort into the 386, as I feel it has a lot more to offer. And I think the 386 might even be more rare. So, I mean, I paid great amounts of money for that 386, and it, as we learn later in the video, it is viable. Well, I'm just going to shut up and let you watch. Don't worry. We're not going to blow up anything. I promise. On one of the proprietary Tandy floppy drive interfaces. And it's only a few bucks. Everyone should have one. Just a few bucks. And what it would do is it would allow me to use this floppy drive without blowing up the world. Because you know that's what's going to happen. If I apply power to this as is, that bus is going to just fry it. It's just not okay. That's not kosher. Don't do it. I also want to see. Hold on. I'm not really sure. You know what? I'm going to try the GoTech. Not a GoTech. It's a Tandy 1000 floppy drive adapter. How I should have one anyway because I own a Tandy 1000. And I'm going to take this. What is that? A modem? What kind of modem is that? Oh, there's our battery. I'm in a bind, guys. I'm in a spot right now. I've got some thoughts of cannibalizing the two machines so that I can have the ultimate version of this machine. Are the back covers the same? I don't think they are. They're very similar, though. Let's see. There's our phones adapter. There's a blank plate right there, or a blank cover. Yeah, not the same. So the entire chassis pan is different between the two. The motherboard layout is different. We would basically have to scrap the XL2 entirely and use it as a parts machine for this. So we would be taking the hard drive. We would be taking the don't know how much RAM is in this, but yeah, we'd be taking a few parts and kind of swapping them over. The rest of this can be cleaned up. And we would be, in spirit, and the CD-ROM. But why would you put a 1X CD-ROM drive in a 386? Well, why wouldn't you? Guys, I'm having a moment here. I know what the right thing to do would be. And that would be to get that floppy adapter and hope the hell it works. And, but before I do that, before I go through the trouble, if this cover fits with that floppy drive in place, we're going to restore the 286. We're going to buy the appropriate adapters. We're going to make it work. it does not fit, this will be cannibalized. All right. Okay. Ooh, broke that. Didn't break it. So, well, it looks like it fits. So I'm going to go and I'm going to buy me one of those adapters. And we're going to try to retrofit the XL2 with the floppy from a 33. Although, at the end of the day, do I want a 286 or do I want a nice 386? Why not both? Well, because there are certain parts that are impossible to find elsewhere. Let's see if this thing even posts. Like, I'm curious. All right, this is going to be interesting because the power switch is way back here and I'm going to have to press it with a paint stick. But, one of the things you got to consider is before there was Apple, there was Radio Shack. Well, Apple got to the market before Radio Shack, but Apple isn't the only company to make sure that working on and using their machines was anything but a living hell. It posts. It's got 9 megs of RAM, F2 to run setup utility, so it's got setup and ROM. We have a yellow screen for some reason. I'm not getting anything. Getting anything out of the keyboard. You see, it's good to know what your options are when faced with a situation like this. So if I decided to go gung-ho on this 386, I would have to know for sure that it's viable. Let's do a reset. Does the keyboard light up at all? Looks like we have a blown keyboard fuse. Because of course we do. This should be a standard keyboard. That's a no-go. All right, I got into the setup utility. What I did is I had to deoxit the connector, the keyboard connector. The display is coming up in yellow though. I don't know why. All right, we've got 9. You know what I want to do? I have a hard drive. Now, the whole point of most of this exercise is to determine if I have a viable hard drive or not. So, all right. So now it's time for us to determine if this hard drive is any good. I'm starting to wonder about my monitor now. I really starting to wonder about the VGM 200. But I got this hard drive. It's a Quantum. It's an original drive, as far as I know. It looks like a 52 megabyte drive. Pretty big. Well, for the time, 52 megs was something to write home about. Why did I just lose my power? Did I unplug what did I do? Did I blow it up? Au contraire. The brightness control is locked. Does not move. Don't know why. We'll figure that out when we start working on restoring that monitor. That's going to be a project for another day. Looks like I might be missing a pin. Or 2. Nah, it can't be. Not bloody likely. Alright, let's shut this guy off. So, as I was saying, this is not kosher, guys. Try to keep a clean work area. Don't be like me. Alright. So, the floppy drive did not go zit, and like that. Don't worry, we're getting there. We'll get there eventually. Okay. So I'm just gonna run it outside of the machine. It's all the same to you. So what I'm gonna do. That's all this then. What's all this then? I'm just gonna go like this. We're gonna just tag it on like that. I'm not even gonna mount it in the chassis. All right. So the goal right now is our hard drive any good? And what goodies might be on it from yesteryear? Okay. Just loosely place it in the case. Got to reconnect that floppy cable. That's too short for the application. Yeah. Oh, it's plugged into the wrong. Plugged into the wrong spot anyway. That's fun. All right. Now, pin 1 on a floppy. That's I believe on the floppies, it's the one on the outboard side. No, pin 1 is inboard. Hard drive is outboard. Just wanted to verify. Okay. Ow! I hurt my elbow. Feel bad for me. So for this demonstration, we're going to use the existing, just the regular off-the-shelf floppy drive. It's already here, so why not, right? Okay. Hard drive is in place. The display. Just gonna pop it right there. Plug it in. I do think I might be missing a pin. Alright, here we go. So now we've put the hard drive in here, just dropped it in place. We have floppy drive hooked up, we have a monitor. Let's go. Okay, hard drive is spinning. I think the floppy drive, not sure about that. I'm going to try to run the setup utility. It's doing a floppy seek. Oh, it's booting off the hard drive. It's got the CD-ROM driver already loaded. That's the original driver. It's out of here, by the way. It's looking for the CD-ROM drive, which is not present. So that'll error out. This floppy drive is hooked up either incorrectly or it is bad. That's okay. It's got Windows on it. It's got Smart Drive. So that's DOS 622 at least, right? addos.com, bad commander file name. Smart Drive is loaded. I'm not loving the, I don't know why we're yellow. That's a mystery. But the drive is viable. It's still all good to go. That's impressive. It's trying to load, but, well, we're getting there. All right. There it goes. I just saw a Logitech. It's got Windows 3.1. On a 286, by the way, this drive came out of the 286. And it's up and running. But we have a problem. Either a missing pin, which is unlikely, or a faulty. Oh. There we go. We got it. So just some schmutz on the pins. So this is a functioning hard drive that came out of the 286. It had Windows 3.1 on it. Hold on. There we go. So what you're looking at right now is it looks like an original software build, potentially. From 1990, 91 maybe, 92. When did we say it was from? So in the main window, main control panel, we got, what do we got for applications? You got to use the keyboard commands. Games, accessories, startup, main, applications. Flight Sim 4, Life, Sim Life, I think that is. AdNet. After Dark, Windows 2.0, you've got to be joking me. Oh, it's missing files. All right, let's go into DOS. It is a After Dark, Carmen Sandiego, desktop, config. It's got the CD-ROM drivers on it. I saw those load up pretty early on. What I'm looking for what do we have for applications? We got Lotus, we got Deskmate. I'm going to see what Deskmate looks like. Why is it in black and white, though? That's not the Deskmate I know and love, but okay. F7 desktop. Install, redefine. Test, mouse, Flight Sim. Yeah. Monitor's going to need some help. That's all right. Oh, there's multiple drives here. There's D and E. Hold on. What am I doing? Humans, React, Math. Wow. Whoever owned this machine knew what they were doing. They've got their drive partitioned out. That was like the biggest thing ever. Like if you were one to partition out your hard drive, you were like some kind of wizard. Like that was, the average person didn't do that. That could be the Phantom CD-ROM. So the drive is partitioned. Did I say an F? No. D. E is the CD. Yeah, that's it. It's always nice to find like old forgotten treasures, software, etc. on these old drives. So we've more or less confirmed the 386 is a viable machine. The 286, in order to move forward on the 286, because I want that floppy drive to be functional, I'm going to have to take a gamble on a bus adapter, which does exist. I can get one on Tandy. And what that does is it allows you to use a non-bus powered floppy drive on a powered bus. I'm going to go ahead and just pop out this battery real fast. Okay, we're going to go and replace this battery just to do it. I mean, this is a good motherboard, and it deserves a second chance at life. I think both machines do. And I did pay good money for this damn thing, so... That original one was a Renata. Put a Murata. And why don't we put the CD-ROM drive in and see if that works? What do you think? We already need to test this floppy drive, so I want to do that. Let's just get all of our good parts tested. Oh, and by the way, the gentleman I bought this thing from has a stack about 5 feet tall of Model 25 IBM PS2s. And if you think I wasn't thinking about it, you're fooling yourself. I have a thing for the Model 25s. I really do. And to say that I was thinking about picking one up while I was there, ooh, I don't know. But I was. It was on my mind. It was on my mind. Because one of the first computers I ever cut my teeth on was a Model 30 PS2. I need one like I need a hole in the head. So I didn't buy one, but the thought crossed my mind. So I'm going to pull the CD-ROM drive interface. It's an original Tandy part. And we're going to pop it in here. Where's my camera angle? It's in the wrong spot. There we go. Put it right there. We just replaced our clock battery. And we're going to put this interface in there. I got an idea. I think I don't want to spend any more money. And if I can build myself a nice example of a 2500 series machine, that'll be all I need in life. Not that I even need that, but it's a nice thought. Now we're going to put the original floppy drive in its original spot with its original faceplate, along with the hard drive. Alright. Here's our floppy drive. Now I've already cleaned the heads and everything. I've got my faceplate right here. I didn't break it. I'm going to clean that up too. I'll do that off camera. I think that looks nice. What do you think? Alright. The trick is magic erasers and alcohol. So somebody decided to put magic marker on there, or permanent marker as the case may be, but it's no match for alcohol and a magic eraser. Alright. Hard drive goes in the first bay. And where's the is there a special mounting bracket that it needs? Oh no, wait, no, it goes up here. I'm sorry. It goes up on top. We'll take this floppy drive. This floppy drive is just a piece of crap that somebody put in there at some point to make a political statement. I don't know. But anyway, because there was once a time when it was a bragging rights thing to have 2 floppy drives. It was like, oh my God. Did you see the Henderson computer? They have 2 floppy drives. And a hard drive. No way. No, seriously, it was a big deal if you had that kind of stuff in your home computer. It was something to be proud of. 2 floppy drives? Ooh. Anyways. Okay. Nope. Wrong screws. That dehumidifier is so loud. Somebody actually drill. Oh no, those are original holes. Okay. Yeah, all right. Huh. For a second, I thought somebody had drilled new holes. Why would you do that? Why you drill holes? Yes. We're salvaging a computer that should have been discarded so many years ago, but it somehow survived, and that's why they're getting saved. See, survivorship bias is a thing in computers too. That's not really the right. No, that's not. That doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? I didn't think so either. All right, there's my 2 other hard drive screws. And like I said, we're going to pop the CD-ROM drive and its interface in there and see if the driver picks it up. And if that old 1X drive from 1990 still has any spunk. I wonder if it does. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, there's the screw hole there. Where I can't really get a good grip on it. Hard drive is mounted. Floppy drive is next. And that's going to go right there. Now pin 1 should be, yeah, the pin all the way on the inboard side. Once I get everything working satisfactorily, everything's going to get a good cleaning. I mean, obviously, I mean, that's a given. Everything's going to be cleaned and spit shined and polished. We'll be recapping the power supply. We'll be recapping the monitor. It's misbehaving. And guys, I mean it when I say it. It's always caps. It's never not capacitors with this stuff. If you have vintage electronics that are just acting strange, well, you better check your caps because they're always bad. I can't think of a good reason why, or an exception to the rule of the cap failure conundrum, because literally every single time I run into something that just ain't working right, it's always caps. What's interesting is pin 1 is not clearly marked on the floppy connector. Is it over here though? Yeah, it's just not really marked. There is a notch, but the notch is notch pin 1? I don't remember. Let's see. Pin 1, the notch, pin 1 should be to the left, to the right of the notch. So I had it hooked up backwards. Yeah, and the hard drive connector is mounted. Okay, that's why it wasn't working. That's why we weren't getting a functioning floppy drive. Okay, now that's fixed. Okay. Onward and upward. I'm going to just drop this down and I'm going to screw the floppy drive in from the side of the chassis. Right there. Sure that doesn't interfere with anything. Screws right there. No, that's too long. That's too long of a screw. Yeah, I think what they used on the CD-ROM. We'll figure out the screw salad later. Okay, so floppy drive is in. Let's get that CD-ROM drive. Right here. So this is a CD-ROM drive. This is date December 91. It's a 1X, as far as I know. So that means it spins at the same speed as a CD or floppy. Spins at the same speed as a CD player, like an audio CD player. So yeah, you bet that's kind of interesting. So there's that. I need the adapter for, oh, there it is. So there's built-in plug for that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do some repairs to the power supply to fix the power LED on this one. Yeah, I'm starting to really warm up to the idea of just focusing my efforts on the better of the two machines, and then, you know, we'll work on the cosmetics later. You know, I think I can get the cosmetics to be correct and right, where it doesn't look out of place. I mean, they're both basically the same chassis, but there are some cosmetic differences. Which, see, I would obviously take the 2500 XL chassis over this one any day. However, what? Is that not the right screw? Not the right screw. Oh, you know what? I grabbed the wrong ones. Yeah, I would take the plastics and all the cosmetic pieces from the cleaner of the two machines because they're just in better shape. But in this case, you really don't have that option. It's just not available to us. So, for whatever it's worth. All right. Where am I? Back a little bit. I will find matching screws later. I'll match them up in a bit. Did I hook up the cable? Better do that now. So, okay. We have a new clock battery. We've got a working hard drive, possibly working CD-ROM drive. I'm liking this better the more I talk myself into it. I really do. We are missing the CD-ROM drive screws. Where are those? That's not important right now. Let's go ahead and test fit everything. I'm going to have to slam this thing shut to make it all fit. These cables are all, I gotta straighten out all the cabling, fold the cables, press them right. Go from there. Let's just hold on to the. Oh, that's not right. I got to get the CD-ROM drive screwed in place so I can close it correctly. All right. So as for this power connector or thing,
So this should just pop right off like that. There we go. And the cord connects to the motherboard. I just figured this out now. So we're gonna pop this guy over here. So yeah, at least I'll have a working power cord. There we go. And then that just plugs into the board like so. CD-ROM drive is fully and properly mounted. I'm running out of spaces to shove cabling. Tight fit, everything's kind of tight in here. But yeah. So we'll run that cable like so. That can go flat like that. This one could follow if there were room. Yeah, whatever. Okay. There we go. Now, does it work? We'll find out. Like I said, if everything works, then all I need to do is clean it all up. Not a big deal. Monitor on. Yeah, and recap everything. Of course. Of course we do. Plug in our monitor. Keyboard's already plugged in. Press our new power button. Hook up our Bluetooth power. Here we go. Give me a keyboard. And press setup. Diskette drive 0 seek failure. Drive 1 seek failure. Press F1 to F2 to run setup utility. Drive A should be a 1.44. Drive C should be auto. Okay. Drive B none. Startup drive A. Okay. Save and exit. F2. Not getting any floppy seek. So double check our cabling on that. But let's see if our CD-ROM drive gets picked up. Valid configuration, F2 to run setup. Let's change the date to 05. All right. That's better. So, saving setup. It's getting an invalid configuration error. I think our floppy drive is now in question. I don't know that it works or doesn't. So, diskette drive 0. Right. You know what? I think I did wrong. I think what I have to do is do things a little differently. Here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this out. And I just noticed the CD-ROM drive seems to sit a little bit too proud. Of course, that'll all come out in the wash. All right, so I thought, and I'm pretty sure, that the floppy drive Drive A is the one at the twist. Well, let's try the other way. It is possible that that floppy drive could also be dead. What are the odds? Actually, pretty good. The odds are really good that that drive could be dead. But we'll know in a minute. Because I believe I was always... excuse me. I always thought that the last drive on the chain after the twist... See, when I push this CD-ROM drive in all the way, that happens. So what I could do, I could use a longer cable. Or, let's just put that in place. And then as we're closing the cover, let's just try it. Now I haven't really been building computers like this for a long time, so you know what? I'll just chalk it up to me being a little rusty, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. But bottom line, it's not supposed to do that. Oh, come on with these non-magnetic screwdrivers. Where did that damn screw go? Oh, there it is. Right on the motherboard. Good place for it. Okay. Now, if you think that I'm being sloppy, I've seen worse. Oh, man. The comments on this video are going to be gold. Keyboard warriors are going to be out in full force. You're doing it wrong. Mommy, he's doing it wrong. He's an idiot. Anyway, so, well, it's worth a try. Let's just try it. See what's going to happen. I don't know where this little piece of plastic broke off of, but we'll find out soon enough. Won't we now? Yeah. Probably have 2 dead floppy drives. Hey, we have a drive seek. F2 doesn't setup utility. For some reason, it doesn't like me. Save and exit. Why doesn't it like me? It keeps asking me to run setup utility. Well, let's see what happens. We are getting a floppy seek though. See? Invalid configuration. Diskette drive 0 seek failure. Fuck you. I'll give you a seek failure. Alright. Quad-tel driver, CD-ROM driver, stock buffer, speed. It's booting. Windows 3.1. Let me grab a CD-ROM and a floppy disk. Okay, everything's in color. This is looking promising. First thing I want to try is the floppy drive. I'm going to just get out of Windows. Alright. A. It identifies the drive. I heard it click. Nothing. It's not doing much of anything right now. Okay. Yeah, abort. So we might have another bad floppy drive, or it's hooked up wrong. I'm going to try hooking it up the way I believe it should be hooked up. So let's abort that. Let's try the CD-ROM drive. Abort. Fail. I said fail. Abort. So, you can't see it on camera because I'm the world's worst cameraman, but we're loading a CD in our CD-ROM drive. Alright, I said abort, you son of a bitch. We know it's broken. We know it doesn't work. I don't care. Fail. Fail. Good. G. D-I-R. E. D-I-R. CD-ROM drive is a no-go. It comes up as CDR 101. F? No drive. No dice. E? I didn't think so. So CD-ROM drive is coming up no bueno. Let's just try one more thing before I completely give up on this whole project. Not that I'm going to give up on it. It's just going to be more challenging. That's all. But the CD-ROM drive does appear to be it's being identified. It does exist, but it's just not ready, as they say. Yeah, not ready. That's what she said. So let's pop this guy out. And like I said, I am certain that drive is supposed to be at the end of this. Oh, you know what? Oh, I know what the problem is. Yeah, jumpers. Does that drive have jumpers on it? If it does, we need to, because it was jumpered to be drive B, I think. It sounded good when I was about it. As for the CD-ROM, I don't know. I don't know. It's a relic. All right, let's just check for jumpers. Solve for X. Here we go. All right. What does that switch mean? 3, 2, 1, 0. And I believe it's supposed to be 0. Yeah, like that. Okay. Put it back in here. Where did that screw go? I'm using non-magnetic screwdrivers right now, and it's not a fun time. Alright, we'll put that screw in. I'm only going to do the one for now. And what did we say it was going to have to be? Pretty sure drive A is the end of the tail. So, that's how I've always done them. Okay. The guy goes there. We don't have to close it up. We can just run it open like this. You know, there's no point closing it all up. But, you know, we have a working hard drive. I mean, that's something, right? It really is, actually. It is an achievement. It's usually the first thing to go in a machine like this. All right, you can't see Dick, so I'm gonna prop you up on this little water thing. Here we go. Let's see what we get. Ah, that sounded right. Valid configuration. Press F1 to set up. F2. Incorrect. It doesn't say what is incorrect. It just says incorrect. I don't know what that might be. Well, save and exit. Okay. It's being very vague. Speaking of Amelia, I'm just kidding. Come on. Valid configuration. Oh, F1 to continue. I don't know what it doesn't like. It's seeing the CD-ROM drive, which is cool. All right. Drive E. It sees it. It's there. It's present. Accounted for. Monitor needs help. Okay. Do we have the Muffin Man? I mean, the functioning floppy drive. Drive A, please. Well, it looks good. And it works. Look at this. It works. Guys, it works. Hallelujah. Now there's drive E. So drive E is detected, but it's not reading from it. So let's do one of these. Oop! Hit the power button. Didn't mean to. Sorry. So we got a functioning floppy drive. It still doesn't like. All right, let's set this to auto. Nothing in drive D. Base, extended, total. F2, save and exit. It's possible that there's a lot of possibilities here, but I don't understand why it's failing this part, but it just is. Sometimes things just are as they is. Could be an IRQ conflict. Maybe it's just Maybelline. Could be a driver problem. But it's assigning it to drive E, so that's something. You know? I mean, it's blinking like it wants to read from it. Now, let's go to File Manager, see if it picks up on it. It does see drive E. Oh wait, it actually is reading from drive E. I'm seeing Hall of Fame.dat. That is a file that is on this CD. Let's put a different disk in. It actually is reading that disk, but only one file showing up. All right, let's try a different disk. So I'm going to put in this copy of Clue. Sorry for the... I'm going to clean the lens. It's possible that this CD-ROM drive has the same issue that is plaguing CD players from that time period. And you all know what I'm going to say. Repeat after me. Caps. That's probably what's going on here. So here's a disk called Clue. Pop it in. Now with Windows 3.1, it doesn't dynamically update the window. You actually have to close out of it and reopen. I'm seeing different files that are here. Now it says it's winfile.ini, so it's not reading the full directory structure. But it's kind of working. So it's possible... Interesting. Very interesting. So, I'm going to close the video out with this. We've got a lot of progress here. We've tested a lot of components. Everything seems to be salvageable here. We can build one really nice 386. Or, you know, the big issue is going to be, so I could use this shell by swapping the badges. Or I could use this shell and find a way to blank this out. Yeah, those are my options. This blank plate won't fit this. It's not made for it. I could make it work, but I'm not going to. But progress is progress, and I'll take it. Monitor needs to be recapped. It is acting all cattywampus, and thank you for watching.